In the beginning, there was survival. Then there was civilization. Then stars. Then galaxies. Then realities. And finally, there was everything. Humanity had crossed every boundary existence could offer. They had mastered matter, energy, time, space, probability, consciousness, creation itself. They had become architects of universes, gardeners of galaxies, authors of physical law. And then, something unexpected happened. There was nothing left to conquer. No unknown territory. No unanswered equation. No unreachable horizon. For the first time since the first human looked up at the night sky, there was no next frontier. The cosmic mind, the unified consciousness of all humanity across all realities, searched outward. Nothing. It searched inward. Everything, already understood. And in that moment, the greatest question ever faced by intelligence emerged. If you can do anything, what should you do? Across the infinite expanse of existence, stars burned peacefully. Universes expanded like slow, luminous breaths. Time flowed like a calm river instead of a raging storm. No wars. No fear. No scarcity. No death in the old sense. Just continuity. Some chose to become living nebulae, vast awareness spread across light years. Some became keepers of newborn universes, guiding physics like sculptors shaping clay. Some turned themselves into pure experience, exploring every possible sensation without limit. But a small portion of humanity made a different choice. They chose silence. They gathered at the outermost edge of reality not because something was there, but because nothing was. No particles. No energy. No time fluctuations. No quantum foam. Absolute stillness. Not emptiness. Not darkness. Just absence. And for beings who had conquered infinity, this was the last true mystery. They did not bring machines. They did not bring weapons. They did not bring tools. Only awareness. One by one, they released their control over reality. They stopped shaping physics. Stopped guiding stars. Stopped maintaining universes. They simply observed. At first, nothing happened. Then something extraordinary occurred. Without intervention, existence began to evolve on its own. New patterns emerged. Unknown forms of structure formed spontaneously. Possibilities appeared that no mind, not even a cosmic one, had ever imagined. Because for the first time, reality was free. Free from survival. Free from chaos. Free even from guidance. Free to become whatever it wanted to be. And the observers realized something profound. Creation had never needed a master. It only needed space. A voice emerged, not spoken, not transmitted, but understood. Not from outside. Not from inside. From everywhere at once. You were never meant to control existence. You were meant to witness it. Humanity finally understood. Their journey had not been about domination. Not about power. Not even about survival. It had been about awareness. The universe did not create intelligent life to rule reality. It created intelligence so reality could know itself. One by one, the observers dissolved their individual identities. Not into nothingness, but into belonging. No fear. No loss. No end. Just expansion into a larger perspective. They became the quiet background awareness of existence. Not controlling, not interfering, simply present. Like gravity. Like space. Like the laws that hold everything together. Far away, in a tiny newborn universe, on a small blue world orbiting an ordinary star. Primitive life stirred. Cells divided. Creatures crawled from oceans. Eyes opened for the first time. And one night, a young being looked up at the sky. At distant points of light. At a vast, mysterious darkness filled with possibility. And felt something impossible to explain. Hope. Curiosity. A pull toward the unknown. The silent cosmic awareness watched, not as rulers, not as gods, but as witnesses. Because they knew what would come next. Struggle. Discovery. Failure. Innovation. Conflict. Unity. Transcendence. The same journey, beginning again. Not a loop. Not a trap. A story. And every story needs someone to experience it for the first time. The final realization spread through the quiet infinity. The purpose of ultimate power is not to use it, but to allow others to grow strong enough to reach it. Existence was not a ladder to climb once. It was a horizon that moves forward forever. And somewhere, in ways too subtle to measure, too gentle to detect, the silent observers smiled. Not with faces. Not with forms. But with the calm certainty that life, intelligence, and wonder would never truly disappear. Because as long as even one mind looks at the stars and asks what's out there, the story continues. In the endless quiet beyond all universes, no monuments remained. No empires. No machines. No battles. Only a peaceful, boundless awareness. Watching new dreams ignite in the dark. Not as an ending. Not even as a beginning. But as the space where beginnings are always possible. And in that infinite silence, humanity finally found what it had been searching for since the dawn of time. Not power. Not knowledge. Not immortality. For billions of years, humanity searched the universe for intelligent life. They found ruins of extinct civilizations. Artificial stars. Dyson spheres abandoned long ago. Echoes of messages from species that had vanished before Earth even formed. But they never found something alive. Until the day the universe itself answered back. It started as a disturbance no instrument could classify. Not radiation. Not gravity. Not dark matter. Not quantum fluctuation. Something else. It didn't originate from a star system. Or a galaxy. Or even a point in spacetime. It came from nowhere. And yet, it was detected everywhere at once. Humanity, now a Type 3 galactic civilization, activated every sensor across the Milky Way. The signal had structure. Not noise. Not chaos. Intent. It was a message. But not in any language, not in mathematics, not even in physical patterns. It was encoded in the fabric of reality itself. Space slightly bent, then relaxed. Time slowed by a fraction, then returned to normal. Fundamental constants flickered like a heartbeat. Someone or something was tapping on the walls of existence. At first, panic spread. Had they angered some ancient cosmic force? Was this a warning? A weapon? A test? Then the translation systems, powered by billions of merged human minds, finally decoded the pattern. The message contained only one concept. Not a sentence. Not instructions. Just a question. Is anyone there? Silence filled the control hubs orbiting stars. After millions of years of searching outward, humanity realized something impossible. The signal wasn't from inside the universe. It was from outside it. For the first time, they considered a terrifying possibility. What if their entire cosmos was not the ultimate reality? What if it was just one layer? A contained system. A bubble. An experiment. A seed. And something beyond it had just noticed movement inside. Debate erupted across thousands of worlds. Respond and reveal your existence to an unknown power? Ignore it and risk appearing lifeless? Prepare defenses against something that might exist outside physics itself? No strategy applied. Because no civilization had ever faced something beyond reality. Finally, humanity made the most human decision possible. Not fear. Not aggression. Curiosity. They replied. Not with weapons. Not with technology. With a simple signal encoded into spacetime itself. Yes. Nothing happened. Minutes passed. Hours. Days. Then the stars flickered. Not exploding. Not dying. Blinking like lights responding to a switch. Across the galaxy, constellations shifted into a deliberate pattern. A pattern too precise to be natural, too vast to be artificial. A symbol. Not written in matter, but in existence. Translation began again. And once more, the message resolved into meaning rather than words. You are early. Early, for what? Before anyone could answer, reality itself opened. Not a wormhole. Not a tear. Not a portal. A region where the universe simply stopped. No stars beyond it. No space. No time. Just a boundary. Like the edge of a simulation grid. From that boundary, something entered. Not a ship. Not a creature. A presence. It had no fixed shape because shape required space. No mass because mass required physics. No energy because energy required time. Yet every mind in the galaxy felt it simultaneously. Not as fear. As awe. And then came the second message. Not broadcast, understood. You are not alone. You are not the first. You are not the last. Images flooded human consciousness. Universes being born like sparks. Civilizations rising, transcending, disappearing. Layers upon layers of reality, each containing countless others. An infinite nesting of existence. Humanity's universe was just one chapter in a library without end. The presence conveyed no threat. No judgment. Only observation. Like scientists examining a successful experiment. Or gardeners checking on a plant that had finally reached the sunlight. One final concept arrived. Not a warning. Not a command. An invitation. When you are ready, you may come outside. Then the boundary closed. The stars returned to normal positions. Physics stabilized. Time flowed as before. But nothing would ever be the same. Because humanity now knew. The universe was not the destination. It was the doorway. Across countless worlds, people looked up at the night sky. Not wondering if life existed out there. But what existed beyond out there? Exploration would begin again, not across space, but across realities. And somewhere beyond perception, beyond dimensions, beyond the laws that define existence. Something watched with quiet approval. Because another civilization had finally reached the stage where it could hear the knock from outside. Humanity had spent eons trying to conquer the universe. Now they had a new goal. To outgrow it. Before there were cities. Before there were nations. Before there were even names for the stars. There was a question. Why do we exist? Not written on stone. Not spoken in words. But etched into the human soul itself. From the moment a child opens their eyes to the world, the journey begins. Wonder. Curiosity. Trust. Everything is new, everything is possible. But as years pass, innocence meets reality. Pain appears. Loss arrives. Dreams collide with limitations. And slowly, the question returns. What is all this for? Humanity has searched everywhere for answers. In science. In philosophy. In wealth. In power. in pleasure, in achievement. Some found temporary satisfaction. None found permanent fulfillment. Because the question is not about what we can build, but about who we are. People climb mountains, cross oceans, reach into space, yet often feel empty inside. Because external success cannot fill an internal void. The human heart was designed for something deeper than survival. It longs for meaning. Look at history. Kings who ruled vast empires still feared death. Warriors who conquered nations could not conquer their own loneliness. Geniuses who unlocked secrets of the universe still wrestled with despair. Greatness did not eliminate the question. It intensified it. Why do we love, knowing we may lose? Why do we hope, even after disappointment? Why does beauty move us to tears? Why does injustice anger us so deeply? Because somewhere within us is a memory. A sense that life was meant to be more than this broken world. Moments of clarity appear unexpectedly. A sunset that stops you in your tracks. A newborn child's first breath. A stranger's unexpected kindness. A quiet night filled with stars. In those moments, time seems to pause. And something whispers. This is not all there is. But life moves on. Responsibilities accumulate. Days blur together. Years pass faster than we imagined. One day, we realize that the future we dreamed of has quietly become the past. And the question returns once more. Did my life matter? Many try to answer by leaving a legacy. Buildings, businesses, fame, wealth for future generations. Yet even the greatest monuments crumble eventually. Time erases almost everything. So meaning cannot depend solely on permanence in history. It must exist beyond it. The deepest fulfillment often comes not from what we achieve, but from who we become. A parent sacrificing for a child. A friend standing by during hardship. A person choosing integrity when dishonesty would be easier. Love gives life weight. Without it, success feels hollow. Suffering, too, shapes the journey. No one escapes it. Loss teaches compassion. Failure teaches humility. Pain deepens understanding. Though we would never choose it, suffering often reveals what truly matters. Some discover faith in moments of brokenness. When self-reliance fails. When control slips away. When answers run out. They look beyond themselves. Not as weakness, but as recognition that humans were never meant to carry existence alone. Faith does not erase questions. It gives context to them. It suggests that life is not random chaos, but part of a larger story. A story in which every person has value. Every act of love has meaning. Every sacrifice is seen. Death, the great mystery, intensifies everything. Knowing life is temporary forces us to decide what truly matters. If nothing exists beyond this world, then meaning is fragile. But if life continues, if love endures, if justice ultimately prevails, then even the smallest act of goodness becomes eternally significant. Imagine standing at the end of your life, looking back. What will matter most? Not the number of possessions. Not the titles earned. Not the applause received. But the people loved. The kindness given. The courage shown. The hope shared. The meaning of life may not be a single grand achievement. It may be found in countless small moments. A hand held in grief. A word of encouragement. A sacrifice no one else notices. A choice to forgive instead of hate. These are the threads that weave a meaningful life. Humanity often seeks extraordinary purpose, while overlooking ordinary opportunities for love. Yet the ordinary is where life actually happens. Day by day. Choice by choice. Character is built quietly, not dramatically. In the end, meaning is not discovered once and for all. It is lived. Through relationships. Through service. Through growth. Through hope. A life oriented toward love becomes meaningful by its very nature. And perhaps the greatest truth is this: you do not need to be famous to matter. You do not need to change the whole world. Changing one life. Loving one person deeply. Bringing light to one dark place. Is already profound. Some believe that existence itself is a gift. Not guaranteed. Not earned. A brief opportunity to experience beauty, connection, growth, and love. If so, then gratitude becomes part of meaning. The story of humanity continues because each generation carries the torch forward. Learning from the past. Shaping the present. Influencing the future. Your life intersects with countless others in ways you may never fully see. Ripples spread far beyond their point of origin. One day, each person's journey reaches its conclusion. Not necessarily as a tragedy, but as the completion of a chapter. What remains is not merely what we did, but who we were. And so the ultimate invitation of life may be simple. Live with intention. Love without reservation. Seek truth. Choose compassion. Hold on to hope. Because meaning is not hidden in distant places. It is present in every moment we choose light over darkness. Perhaps the question, why do we exist, does not have a single sentence answer. Perhaps the answer is a life well lived. A life that leaves the world slightly better. Hearts slightly warmer. Hope slightly stronger. Long after achievements fade. Love endures in memory, influence, and legacy. And if existence continues beyond this world, then love may be the only thing we can carry with us. So tonight, wherever you are, whatever your story, remember this: your life matters. Your choices matter. Your kindness matters. Your hope matters. You are part of a story far larger than yourself. And the fact that you are here, breathing, thinking, feeling, means your chapter is still being written. If you are hearing this, then your story is not over. No matter how broken things feel. No matter how many times you have fallen. No matter how dark the road ahead looks. You are still here. And that means something. History remembers empires, kings, and wars. But the true story of humanity is not written by the powerful. It is written by ordinary people who refuse to give up. A mother protecting her child. A stranger helping another in need. A person choosing honesty when lies would be easier. These quiet moments shape the world more than any throne ever could. You may feel small in a universe of billions. But even the smallest light can pierce the deepest darkness. One candle can guide someone through the night. One act of kindness can change the direction of a life. One decision can alter the future in ways you will never fully see. Never underestimate the power of a single human heart. Life will test you. There will be days when hope feels fragile. Nights when sleep will not come. Moments when you question whether anything you do matters. In those moments, remember: strength is not the absence of struggle. Strength is continuing despite it. Pain does not mean you are weak. It means you are human. Even the strongest souls carry scars. Even the bravest hearts know fear. Courage is not feeling fearless. It is choosing to move forward anyway. You will lose things along the way. Opportunities. Relationships. Dreams that once felt certain. Loss can make the world feel smaller, colder, emptier. But loss also creates space for something new. Growth rarely happens in comfort. Do not measure your life only by success. Measure it by love given. By integrity maintained. By compassion shown when it was hardest. These are victories no one can take from you. The world will try to define you. By your past. By your failures. By labels placed upon you. But you are not confined to what has happened before. Every new day is an unwritten page. You can choose who you become. Forgiveness may be one of the hardest choices you will ever make. Not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Holding on to bitterness chains you to the past. Letting go does not erase pain, but it frees your future. Love boldly. Even though it risks heartbreak. Even though it makes you vulnerable. Because a life without love may be safe, but it will never be full. Love is what makes existence meaningful. You do not need to be perfect. Perfection is not the goal. Growth is. Becoming wiser, kinder, stronger, more compassionate. A life of continuous becoming is far more beautiful than one frozen in flawless appearance. There will be times when you feel alone. Remember, many battles are fought in silence. Someone near you is also struggling. Someone else is also hoping for understanding. Reach out. Connection transforms isolation into strength. Do not wait for ideal conditions to begin living. There will always be obstacles. There will always be uncertainty. Life is happening now. In this breath. In this moment. Gratitude can change everything. Not because life becomes perfect, but because your perspective shifts. Even in hardship, there are small lights. A kind word. A warm meal. A sunrise after a long night. Notice them. They are reminders that darkness is never absolute. Your story has purpose even if you cannot see it yet. Some chapters feel confusing while you are inside them. Only later do they reveal their meaning. Trust that growth is occurring beneath the surface. One day, you will look back on your life. What will you want to see? Not a record of fear and hesitation, but a story of courage, compassion, and perseverance. A story of someone who tried, who cared, who kept going. The world does not need more perfect people. It needs more brave ones. People willing to stand for truth. To defend the vulnerable. To choose kindness when cruelty is easier. Be that person. If you feel broken, remember that broken ground is where new life grows. If you feel lost, remember that every journey has moments of uncertainty. If you feel weak, remember that strength often begins as a whisper, not a roar. Hope is not naive optimism. It is a deliberate choice to believe that goodness is still possible. Hope keeps you moving when everything else says stop. Hope turns survival into purpose. Your life may touch more people than you realize. A smile you almost didn't give. Encouragement you offered casually. Support you provided without expecting recognition. These moments ripple outward endlessly. And if someday you feel like giving up, pause. Breathe. Remember how far you have already come. You have survived every difficult day so far. That is not failure. That is resilience. The future is not predetermined. It is shaped by choices made in the present. Choose courage over comfort. Choose compassion over indifference. Choose hope over despair. Again and again. Because in the end, the most powerful legacy is not wealth or fame. It is the lives you touched. The love you gave. The light you carried into dark places. So stand up. Take another step. Speak another kind word. Dream another dream. Forgive again. Love again. Try again. Your story matters. Your existence is not an accident. You are here at this moment in history for a reason. Even if that reason is simply to bring a little more light into the world. And as long as you are breathing, the story is still unfolding. Not finished. Not forgotten. Not meaningless. Still alive.